Hello and welcome to Roos News on the 6th instalment for the 2014-15 season on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. I'm your host, Dave Minear, and tonight we've got a very special show for all our listeners, going through everything that went on with, obviously, Bayswater earlier this week, and we played against the Bayswater boys 2 weeks ago, but unfortunately we didn't have a show that week due to the fact that we also had a Shield game, a day-night game going. But first of all, I better introduce my co-host, Ian Purcell. Ian, how are you, mate?
Evening, David. I'm very well. How are you going tonight?
Mate, very well. It's a big show tonight. We've got a lot of stuff to go through, obviously with everything that's happened in the past couple of weeks, and some interesting news also we'll touch on early with Mitchell Johnson, our player, absolute champion.
Wanneroo's own.
Wanneroo's own. We'll claim that. I'm sure Wanderers and Norths in Brisbane might have something to say with that, but we'll claim it anyway. And, mate, a fantastic effort by him to get ICC Test Cricketer of the Year and also the ICC Cricketer of the Year again.
Isn't it? What was it, 59 wickets at 15?
15, correct.
Yeah, they're like, say, juniors figures, aren't they, mate? So, look, that's an outstanding effort from the fella, isn't it? Good to see. Like I say, a lot of people were writing him off with injury, weren't they, when he come back after he injured his foot and he was out for sort of 6 to 8 months there. But, like I say, he's come back fitter, stronger than ever and, done a little bit of work with his bowling and has got it back to where it was. And, look, outstanding effort and great work, Mitch.
Isn't it amazing? You know, you look back 3 years ago and people were going, well, he'll never get back from that toe injury, and all of a sudden our Test side, without being slightly biased, probably wouldn't have the same sting in its tail without him. I think he has been, since we lost McGrath, Brett Lee, these sort of guys a few years ago, he's been the one that really had to step up basically by himself for a lot of it.
Yeah, look, and I think they finally bowled him right by just bowling him in short spells, actually using him as he is and using him as a spearhead.
Yep.
Like saying over in Adelaide, that test there when he was just, they bowled him in a few overs here and there, and look, he just cleaned them all up. It was such a good thing to see, and I dead set reckon that some of those batsmen are genuinely scared to go out there and face him, which is, if that's your living, if you're international sport.
Oh, exactly.
Shouldn't really be scared, should you? But he does genuinely put fear into the batsman.
But I think the thing was, you looked on the weekend and Hashim Amla, Friday and Sunday, both times, looked actually scared. And I've never seen Hashim Amla look like that against Mitch. Yep. Even Mitch, for how good Mitch is, Hashim Amla is always so cool, calm and collected, and you can see him peeling off 100 every innings. And he just wasn't like that on the weekend, and Mitch was just bowling really quick.
He's one of the best in the world, Amla, isn't he? Let's be honest, yeah.
Gun.
Him and actually AB de Villiers as well. I think Mitch actually did stir him up between him and Hazelwood. They actually stirred him up, which is the first time we've ever seen him like that, because he is the best batsman in the world, I reckon, at the moment. AB de Villiers going around, and he just looked that good. But those two boys stirred him up, and that's, great effort again from Mitch. There's, pretty big tag to wear, isn't it?
Exactly, mate, exactly. Well, guys, tonight we've also got a very special interview, a absolute club legend, and obviously still playing A-grade as well, the great Joel Charles, also a life member, and probably one of the longest-serving stalwarts in the playing arena, except for Jason Perry, of course. Sorry, Jason's got that one. He's been around there as well. But in A-grade, he's been a fixture in WACA cricket for over 14, 15 years now. So really good to see him on. He's going to be on the show tonight and have a quick chat with us on the Northside residential interview. Now, IJ, I think we've got a fair bit to get through here, mate. So before we get to talk to the great Charles, mate, take me through the start of the Basie episode, the Basie Bogans a couple of weeks ago.
Feels like it was ages that we was talking about this one at Burn. But, look, we batted first, and that was when Mitch McGee made his maiden A-grade 100 with his 123 not out there. So that was another outstanding effort again there, Mitch. Well done, buddy. We ended up 7 for 314 off our allotted overs. And then we managed to keep the Basie Bogans to 191, which is, it's an outstanding effort from the boys. And Jack Cottrell back to his best there after a little layoff through a couple of little minor injuries there, and they sent him down to quite a few people to fix him up, and then apparently some witch doctor somewhere managed to get him all right. So he ended up with 6 for 40, so great effort. And, just the rest of the bowlers sort of chipped him into one to Donovan, one to Lee Miller, which was good to see him back playing again, and one to his younger sibling Kyle. So, look, a great effort. And then we were 1 for 57 in the second dig with Robbie Richards with his 37 not out. So, look, a great win from the boys there to keep the momentum flowing with them, wasn't it?
Mate, I think the funnier thing about the whole weekend was the fact that it was basically a makeshift side, and without not being rude to the guys, we had so many guys out. We had 6 players out, I think, of our normal A-grade squad. To come in and dominate and get 7 for 314 like the boys did is absolutely unbelievable, especially when they were 3 for 93.
Yep.
And you're not really thinking about 300 at that point, I wouldn't have thought. But
True.
As I said, Mitch McGee finally proving to all of us the great cricketer we all know he is.
Yeah, look, it took a lot of confidence out of that, wouldn't he? So great to see. He's tried hard. He's unfortunately had a bit of a struggle with his back injury, but look, he's come good, and we all know the kid can play. It's just a matter of him actually doing it, wasn't it? So, yeah, look, plus also the experience in Charles Quelch Atkinson that's also out there, Vern. It's pretty tough to fill it in, even with Parry in his 874 games. But,
he was facing a great bowler. I mean, sorry, Percy, he was facing a great bowler, Denver de Cruz. I mean, he's taken a lot of wickets here in this comp, and to get in there and to obviously bat as well as he did.
Canberra's best, Denver de Cruz.
Yeah.
Look, he is, but on a fairly serious note there, Vern. He's a quality player, actually, isn't he, Denver de Cruz? He's, has been around for a little while, and he's a very good player.
Don't ask Darren Richards, though, because, Darren Richards, we'll never forget that. No, can't play. Bowl's too short, he'll get carded. Well, I think 60 wickets a season for 5 years has basically dispelled all those rumours. But
right,
it's good to see him not playing for the dark side anyway. Lucky boy, at least he got out. I'm surprised he got a clearance. But one thing I will like to talk about here, mate, is Jack Cottrell. Now, obviously another great talent, and he coming in and bowling 6 for 40, mate, not to be sneezed at in any grade, let alone A grade.
Yeah, look, great effort, and he has sort of, hopefully let's see he reaps the rewards of his very, very large pre-season he did this year with the development squad. Look, he's definitely a great talent, another one that we managed to, that didn't want to play down the road and come to a good club.
Yep.
But, look, it's good to see him, isn't it, because he has been sort of out and been a bit unlucky, but he's one of those guys, if he gets it right in his day, very, very hard, good genuine shape, good genuine pace. So, yeah, look,
that's all you want.
Great work with him, good fella too.
Mate, the other one there, Mitchy McGee also got 3 catches at this game, which is quite amazing as well. So a pretty good all-round game. He did it in the field as well because he's pretty important in that slips cordon.
Yeah, BOG, you reckon, Vern?
I reckon he's pretty close, mate. I don't think there's any complaints.
And the best thing is on the Keith Parry scoring system, 123 is 3 points better than 6 for.
Oh, on the Keith Parry?
On the Keith Parry.
Well, we only go by the Keith Parry scale.
Or, instead of calling it Keith Parry, you could probably call it Don Johnson the way he's looking these days, isn't he? Eh?
Paz, have you seen his hair? I can't talk about hair, right? Well, everyone knows we can't. Hair's not our strong point, but you see what he's getting dressed in now these days. He's hot to trot, the big fella.
Sharp man.
Jeez, it's amazing what they can do, eh? The old crisis, midlife, and living the dream. Good on him too, mate. Too great bloke.
Good fella, great club man.
All right, mate. Well done to the A's because they got a good win there. So obviously we're going into the twos now. So Perce, can you take us through all the results in the second grade?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we discussed this again, Vern, didn't we? Where we thought that the batting has sort of struggled a little bit for them. It hasn't probably been their strongest point. A little bit of an inexperienced lineup there. They only ended up with 142, so everyone's a bit of a hiding for nothing. So I'm pretty sure they were 2 for 70 or 80 overnight, Basie, and they ended up 6 for 232 declared. Scotty Pearson, though, look, an outstanding effort there for his 25 overs, 4 for 56. Good to see his father rewarding him there with a game, and because, like I say, the kid's actually done quite well, and it's good to see him, a bit of persistence paying off there. Look, bit of a struggle, and we ended up 8 for 118 in the second dig there, just trying to get after and get some runs. So, yeah, look, a bit of a disappointing effort there, but, hopefully something to build on. Probably, like I say, one of the highlights for us was young Matty Spores, the state under-17 squad member.
Oh, gun.
Yeah, with
absolute gun.
Getting his 34 there, so it's good to see he was a pick of the batsman there. So hopefully, like I say, looking forward to the future. That's what we want to try and have in our second team, isn't it?
Mate, you need a strong second grade. Obviously, your A grade's the piece de resistance, but the thing is, we really do need to make sure that second grade's back like it was a few years ago, where we're pushing for premierships there. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of turnover in that side because you always do in second grade. But I mean, the good thing there that I'm looking at that team. I mean, you have a look at Dan Peters back, which I think's a massive bonus. Towards the end of a few years ago when he pulled the pin, he basically wasn't that interested anymore, dropped down to fours, kept making runs. He's now got the love of it back. He wants to be up there and he can play. So, I mean, he's going to be good, and he is an older player now, even though he's not very old. Dan, he's played a lot of cricket for Wanneroo.
Well, has experience, doesn't he? So.
Exactly. So, and we need those sort of players in there now. So, hopefully those boys. And Johnny Walter, I mean, he's just taken to second grade like a duck on water, mate. He's been.
Near the blonde bombshell goes all right, doesn't he?
Oh, he's all right, mate. He's not bad at all. But well done to Scotty Pearson, and great performance with that 4 for 56. All right, IJ. Well, let's go to the third grade and have a look at those, mate.
You look, another great effort from Cam Max Thirds there. They managed to get themselves another win there, restricting the Basie boys to 150. With a pick of the bowlers was Bondi there with his 27 overs, 4 for 7. It's
Bondi.
Quite a long spell, isn't it? Which is good to see because he did get dropped for Scotty, and but look, say fought his way back quite there. And young Quinny there as well with his 2 for 18 off 13 overs. Look, a good young talent is Quinny, and look, hopefully he can continue to move on. And also the elder Smith there. With his 3 for 41 too, Vern. So look, that was a pretty good effort from the lads there. And then next week they've managed to peel them off, mate. So with a couple of good performances from Cam Mack and Moses there at the top. So look, another good win from them.
Taking the responsibility there, Cam Mack, batting at the top of the order. I think a few Australian captains could learn from that, getting into batting at number 3, mate, when it's actually quite tough at that point. And as I said, Connell Moses is absolutely batting brilliantly at the moment. Chris Moses, sorry, and Connell Lynch, sorry, got them all mixed up. We've got too many names in our club. I get so confused.
Should be called Dave and Ian, shouldn't they?
Well, mate, since I've been playing, you obviously don't get to play with these guys and actually get to know them, so it's a bit different. But Geordie King there at 4, not harming the scorers, but hopefully he'll be back. But Greg Maher in there as well. So it's a pretty experienced side. So with Corey Roccaccioli coming in there at 11 as well, which is pretty exciting.
Yes,
so getting an opportunity. But hey,
poor Corey didn't get a hit.
No, that's but he'll be batting all week in the nets, making sure he's ready to go. But well done to Bondi, mate. It takes a fair bit. You get dropped, and then to come back and take 4 for 70, fantastic effort, mate.
True test of a man's character, isn't it?
Excellent, mate. I agree. And Smithy, the older Smithy's starting to dominate. I reckon he might play state cricket soon. The way he's going, mate, he's taking enough wickets.
Is he going to be a bit like Josh Quelch? Isn't he going to leapfrog the good brother, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he's dominating here. I mean, he's taking wickets every week. So well done to Smithy.
Pretty sure he got some again this week too.
Did he? Oh, there you go. I can't wait to get to that game as well. All right, guys. Now, Purse, can we go to the 4th grade and take us through those results?
Yes, Joel Carney's boys there. Look, end up with 8 for 249. Both the Quinlan boys there in Vaughan and Lloyd. Not Lockie, as I called him last week. Look, they had an outstanding effort, putting on 125 for the first wicket. Really set that game up. Those guys and Hawley, DiCarlo and Fawcett there in the middle sort of helped the scores along with their 37, 26 and 37. So, look, a good effort. And then, look, managing to skittle the Basie boys for 232 there. So, look, it was quite a tight game, but a very good effort. Couple of boys with 4-fers, young Elijah Gravestock, who was in the 17 squad, but unfortunately missed out with his bowled some pretty genuine pace for a young lad there with 4 for 40. So that's a great effort in his first game of grade cricket. And I believe that's Matt Fawcett, not Aidan Fawcett there, Vern, with his 4 for 44. I reckon they might have got that wrong, but anyway, we'll run with it.
I reckon they might have.
And Kurt Monaghan as well with his 2 for 30. So a couple of young blokes and a seasoned campaigner there. Getting the wicket. So, look, another great effort from Carney's boys.
Mate, always a strong side too, Basie, in 4th grade. They've won a lot of premierships down there. Pete Marriott and Dougie Howes there, those guys have been playing cricket for a long time for those boys. Yeah, well, as I said, they've got a very strong side. I mean, and then you got Gartrell batting in at 3 or 4, and he opened. So yeah, well, they've got a pretty strong side. So that was a really good win by the boys. And Basie are always strong in the lower grades. It's going back to the old Johnny DeCellis days. Yep. Always very strong down there in the lower grades. Yeah,
look, like I say, they're a very experienced lineup, and good to see a couple of young boys giving the old boys a bit of a touch-up. But, just wait and see how they go when they play the old boys at the business end of the year, isn't it? So
exactly, mate. All right, well, going on to the fantastic 17s, mate. Tell us a little bit about how they went on the weekend, or against the Basie Bogans.
Against the old Basie Bogans. Yeah, look, in the 17s, they managed to restrict them to 182, which was a very good effort from the boys. Pick of the bowlers, young Dylan Banks there, 9.4 overs for his 4 for 18. Gravy, he picked up a cheeky little 2 in the morning as well. And Matty Purcell and Corey Roccaccioli picking up 1 each there. So good effort from the boys. And then we managed to just get a lazy 9 for 210. So look, a great victory from the boys. Well played. Josh Cameron there, getting his first of his 2 big scores in the past few weeks with an 89. Vaughnie Quinlan also repeating his form in the 4s with a 34. And Banksy chipping in down the bottom again with his 23. So look, a great effort there from the lads to win that under the astute coachmanship of Brendan Danaher.
Oh, Brendo. Well, that's a fantastic side. I mean, that's a pretty strong-looking lineup. As I said, I think Catalafamo, one of the names we really like to...
Love Catalafamo, don't we?
Oh, mate, we've got to just get that off early. But Cameron, Roccaccioli, Quinlan, pretty strong batting lineup. And as I said, Cameron, the exciting stuff comes again this week. So,
doesn't it?
As I said, great week by the boys. Now, Purce, can we have a look there? We've obviously another win for the 17s, which was really good. So take us through the 15s now.
Yes, the 15s got themselves back on the winners' board. So look, a great effort. They struggled, rained off the first game, and then they probably had a couple of their worst games that they could have played. But good to see the boys get it back to a bit of form. They ended up 9 for 179. They made themselves. Old Benny Doolan, one of our favourites there already with his 38. Luke Cheshire and Bailey Richards down the bottom there with a couple of scores to get them over the line. And then the Basie boys, they managed to restrict them to 143. With the pick of the bowlers was Bailey Richards there with his 3 for 27. And also Eaton there with his little foffies with his 2 for 14. So Connor Thorne, Tristan Hobley and Lukey Cheshire also chipping in with one. So good effort there from the boys to Thorny's lads to get back on track.
And the great Lionel Roos opening the bowling there for Bayswater Morley. Yeah, I always thought he was a bit of a boxer myself. I don't even know if he's still alive. But obviously Lionel Roos chipping in with 11 overs for Basie there. But, mate, I saw B. Richards, and no offence to poor old Bailey, but Barry Richards coming in a bit low. I thought I'm a bit lost there. But, fantastic.
Must have been out doing some interviews or something, maybe. So ran a bit late. He's, young Murray Francois Green's nephew, that lad, Vern.
Oh, there you go. Oh, well, I've learned something new today.
It's worth getting out of bed, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, mate. It always is, mate.
At 11 o'clock like you usually do.
All right, guys, we're just going to go to a quick word from our all-important station sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to have the great Sir Joel Charles on the line. Back in just a few moments.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Urtec Holdings, getting it right and on time. Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood, contact Andrew Amos today. Sunwise Outdoor Living, for all your patio, gazebo and alfresco needs, contact Rob Fairchild. MTM Physiotherapy, specialising in sports injuries, located in Duncraig. And Stella Premium Services, gardens, parks and lawns, contact Cliff Astall today. Station sponsor.
If you're a tradesperson, Kennards Hire has the tools and equipment you need, serviced and ready to go. If you're a DIY, Kennards Hire has amazing stuff that goes cool. If you're a tradesperson, Kennards will give you the right advice to get the job done on time and on budget. If you're a DIY, Kennards will show you how to use it. Excellent. So make Kennards Hire your choice for equipment hire because
Kennards makes your job easy.
Station sponsor.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood. Contact Andrew Amos today. Jets Wanneroo, 24-hour fitness, workout on your terms. Harden Eastern Conti, accounting, taxation, finance and business planning. Contact Murray McGee. Subway Madeley, located in the Kingsway Shopping Complex. And Resource Instrumentation and Electrical, WA-owned electrical contracting company specialising in the HVAC industry. Contact Darren Thorne, station sponsor.
And welcome back to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Now, we've got our very special guest online now, Wanneroo great, triple premiership player at the great Wanneroo District Cricket Club, Joel Charles. Charlesy, can you hear me, mate?
G'day, Dave. How you going?
Mate, I'm all the better for speaking to you, mate. And we heard about the weekend, mate. We haven't gone through the results of Claremont yet, but we're going to go through that a little bit after. But, mate, rumours around, mate, you might have a little bit of a sore hamstring today.
Yeah, that's what happens when you bat with a 20-year-old that can run like the wind. And he has no regard for the person he's batting with.
Oh, mate, it's an old man's injury, though, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is an old man's injury. I'm wondering why I have it, but.
Hey, Charles, Percy. Hey, mate, it's Percy. How you going?
G'day, Ian. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Hey, mate, just on that, you did have a slightly interrupted pre-season. Do you reckon that maybe I'm not trying to have a crack at you here, but maybe that a little bit less fitness coming into this season might have caused one or two injuries?
Well, I actually went to pre-season, which is interesting, and. You know, if you turn that around of what you're setting in, maybe that was my mistake. A little bit too much work before the start of the cricket season, and now it's trouble town.
Charles, you shouldn't be doing too much work before the start of the season, mate. You should be just rocking up and doing what you do well, mate.
That's exactly right, Dave. That's what I keep telling the coach. But
one wouldn't call it a schoolboy error, Charles, because this would be your 20th season you played?
Yeah, well, he probably, I don't know. When I said I didn't really want to come down to pre-season, he probably agreed with me, but I couldn't understand him. He's very difficult to understand.
Mate, especially if you catch him after hours and he's had a couple of scotches too, it makes it even worse, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Couple of scotchies, mate, and it's all over Red Rover. Hey, Charlesy, mate, going back down to Cressy this week, you obviously missed the game against Basie. Heading back down to Cressy, you've had some really good scores down there in the past, mate. In fact, I think you've got at least 100 down there. How was it going back down there and batting, mate? I know you got injured and had to go off and then came back on. What was it like being back down there?
It's such a beautiful ground. It's picturesque. I was saying to Wayne while we were actually talking about it, it's nice having the thirds and the other team playing on the other oval, but when you get a standalone ground like Purcell, with the trees all around it, it's just so nice to play at. The pitch is good as always. It's really one of my favourite grounds to play at.
Mate, the big fella and I are sitting across from you here. We played the old man's game down there a few weeks ago, and they hopefully they're a bit more of the grass because the hockey club seems to ruin it. So obviously the outfield was a lot better as well. Oh,
there were some sandy patches, and now that you mention it, I haven't seen it like that before. So the hockey was it? But it wasn't too bad. And if I might inquire, how did you guys go? How were the results? Any runs, Dave?
Charles, I think that's a negative Ghost Rider.
Wow.
Yeah, mate.
I didn't expect that.
Mate, you just wouldn't with me, would you? I think, mate, it's 4 digs at the moment and 1 run, and that one run was off the thigh pad, so I actually got given the run, and it's actually, I'm not going to lie about it, let's be really honest. I'm really in a real rich vein of form at the moment.
Nice, that must have been PC umpiring if you missed that.
Hey, mate, it must have been pretty good not to have to face Timmy Mack as well on the weekend. Now he's coaching down there at Claremont.
Oh, look, he is a great bowler, don't get me wrong, but I went to school with him, and all I knew him as was an opening batsman that really couldn't do that very well. So anytime he comes in to bowl at me, I picture an opening batsman. And so I've never really had much
Taking
trouble
him seriously.
because I slog him over mid-wicket. It doesn't matter how far sideways he can move the ball if you've got the bat going horizontal. But yeah, no, he's a great bowler, and I won't say cost him the game in the grand final, but him getting injured early was a great help to us last year.
And it certainly was, mate. It did help us. But, I mean, I think the best team won on the day. I mean, to get it down to where we got it to was just fantastic. And I reckon it has to stick in their heads a little bit going into this week, Charles. Obviously, we got a few on the board there. I think we got 2 clickety-click on the board, and they're none for 28 or something similar to that. Mate, what this side we're in, the way we batted on the weekend, how did you find that? How were the boys down there?
Everyone kind of got a start. What was disappointing was that we lost bunches of wickets after breaks. We commented on that after the day's play in the change rooms, and it was disappointing. The lunch break cost us Rogers and Jake, who were batting really well.
Yeah,
and didn't look troubled. Then the tea break cost me my hamstring and a couple of quick other wickets. I think we lost three wickets in about 25 minutes after tea.
Well, Chelsea, they've got a pretty good bowling lineup. Kelly and obviously a few other guys in there, and Robbo and all those guys. But the thing is, do you think it's a bit misleading where they actually are on the ladder at the moment, where Claremont Netties are? Because I think from memory they are somewhere down near I think they're 10th actually. So I mean, it's probably doesn't really belie the talent in their side, does it?
No, not at all. They've got a very good side, and their bowling attack is very consistent. And they've got 2 good spinners, Morton and Turkic.
Yep.
Yeah, two good spinners to go with their 3 quicks. So, and that Kelly can bowl as well. So, we've done well to get 266, and our bowling attack I think is better if we use it right. In the none for 28 in that half hour that we bowled at him, we really didn't make him play enough in the right at the right length.
Yeah,
a little bit fuller. and that was disappointing. But I'm sure we'll fix it come Saturday next.
Well, Charles, I'll tell you something about that young Kelly. He doesn't like facing the last ball of the day at the Wacker, I can tell you that. Was
that him?
Yeah, it was him.
Oh, no.
So he'd have great memories of playing against the mighty Roos.
I had have known that during the day.
Yeah. You should have given me a call in the morning, mate. I'm always there to help.
That was really sad. I wouldn't want anyone to be in that position. That was shocking.
No, exactly.
Hey, mate, so talk us through what happened. You did your hammy, come off, and then you had to go back on. Is that correct?
Yeah, because like I said, we just lost those 3 quick wickets. I thought I'd have a bit of time to recover, but no, I was back on in about 20 minutes later, and it was all right because I had a few painkillers, and but lucky for me, the way I play, my weight couldn't go into anything forceful outside the off stump. So the only way I was going to reach the boundary was from square leg to mid wicket, and that worked out beautifully.
No, that would too, mate. And you're pretty strong through those areas as well, mate. Just quietly.
Hey, mate, they didn't allow you to have a runner, or they do?
They do. Yeah. I didn't think they.
Oh, do they?
That rule must have changed the off season.
Yeah.
Which was very handy, although it was Fawcett, so
yeah,
that's a toss-up.
Yeah,
oh, good point. I was just thinking, yeah.
I had to yell at him a couple of times from square leg, don't run me out.
Yeah. Hey, mate, I think all that poor old runner stuff started with Arjuna Ranatunga and me, mate. I reckon that's where it sort of started, where they stopped that. So it's good that they finally moved on, mate, and let it come back into the... Yeah, I probably can't repeat on the radio.
Mate, yeah. you don't get a runner for being an unfit fat person. Something along those lines, yeah.
Okay.
He's one of our greats from Sri Lanka too, isn't he, Charles? He's one of our idols.
Oh, yeah. I think he's an idol of mine or something.
Yeah.
I think he was the one who actually invited Dave over to try out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
sort of a lot to like in the big fella.
That's right. Cool, I've got someone who wears a bigger size pair of pants than me,
Yeah, I got some hand-me-down Sri Lankan uniforms you can wear, Dave.
And Charles, the worst thing is, mate, I'm still not on Crick Info like I've always dreamed, so I'm still gutted about it, you know?
Do something, Minear. Do something about it.
Hey, mate, I had an email during the week from one famous ex-Wanneroo captain and champion of the club, Benny Cobley. His young lad, Lockie, who's a young 16-year-old at Aquinas. It's actually his birthday tomorrow too, so he's up. It is, but he's coming down to train, and I've got to say 3 or 4 times in the emails, Benny Cobley mentioned that all the kid was looking forward to was bowling against you, mate. So you're going to be a chance of strapping the pads on to impress the young fella?
Mate, not a chance, but a shame. I could have used some young bloke to bowl at me for an hour and a half.
That's right.
No, that'll be good. I got the same email, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. Hopefully he can join up with the Roos after he finishes up at Aquinas.
Yeah, that'd be like I say, it'd be really good to pick him up. But it was still quite funny that he made sure to make mention that the batting genes didn't quite reach Lockie, which is a very good thing for Wanneroo, hopefully.
I think he meant it in the other way. I think he meant that he could.
Charles, looking into the future, mate, it's probably not a good time to sort of ask you after the weekend. What are your plans, mate? I know we've spoken off air about, you know, what you're looking at doing in the coming years, and you want to play as long as you can. Is that still the same thing in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just got to make sure I run Donovan out before he makes me run too far.
He's pretty quick.
Oh, anyone under the age of 25, I'm done. Seriously, I feel that first slip and bat at 6, it's not the hardest job in the world, and it's very, very enjoyable. So I don't know why I'd give that up.
And I suppose it's not like your working life takes too much out of you either, is it, mate?
No, not at all. Not at all, Ian.
Yes, jealous for the record.
Oh, I think we all are.
Mate, how old are you now?
35.
So you've got plenty more years to go yet, haven't you?
Yeah, plenty.
What are you thinking this year, mate? Chelsea, just changing the subject a little bit with the boys from this year compared to the team from last year. I know it hasn't changed too much, but I ask all the guys this that are playing, how do you feel this side stacks up to the side you had last year?
Well, I think it's very similar. The difference is that there's a few guys with a bit of extra pressure on themselves because they are being looked at.
Yep.
So they're desperate to do well, and sometimes that can
affect their on-field performance. Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't, and hopefully these guys keep performing the way they have been. There's been some outstanding improvement from the likes of Kyle Miller.
He's been unbelievable, hasn't he, mate?
Yeah, he's bowling over the off-season, and his batting is just it's really crazy how well that's become.
Charles, do you reckon he's gained another leg basically this year, I reckon, because he just looks like no one can get him out when he goes out there to bat. He walks out with confidence, but he doesn't play those loose shots. And I think he's been the best news story of this season for the A-grade boys because he has just come on an absolute mile.
Yeah, I said to Wayne the other day that I think at the moment Kyle's the best batsman in the side, and he's batting at 7.
Yeah.
That's a fair team to have, you know.
Well, it's good to have him next to you, mate.
It is. Although he can't rotate a stroke for the first 2 overs. He does really well after that. It's very frustrating.
Hey, mate, also touching on that, Donovan Fry this year, he's been quite a revelation, hasn't he?
He's performed really well. I think in the first 3 one-days he came on to bowl, and in his first over he either took a wicket with his first or he got a chance. And I think twice in the first over that he bowled in the first 3 games. It was crazy. And his fielding is brilliant, and his batting. I mean, he's put on. I think he's had partnerships of 40 and 50 3 times this year.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And I think he gives a little bit more, doesn't he, Charles? He gives something to that middle order, or even the lower middle order, because he can bat, but his fielding is just unbelievable. And then you've got his bowling ability as well. He's pretty much a great all-round catch for us at the club because he gives something. I don't know of any other player at the club that does all 3 as well as he does.
No, his attitude is brilliant.
Yeah.
He goes in there and just wants to do his best, but he has no fear of failing. He's just going to try as hard as he can, and if that doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And more often than not, it's coming off, which is perfect.
Just exactly on that, mate, any other players that are currently running around in the seconds that you think might be pushing for spots this year?
Unfortunately, some of the scores coming out of second grade aren't that crash hot at the moment.
That's true, and the batters
are. And I can really only go on the scores because I don't see them, but there's a heap of talent in there. I mean, Bobby McGee has already got his chance and taken it from second grade to first grade. Then there's McPhee, who's coming back from injury. He's just bowled 10 overs on the weekend, and he's a big chance to even play state cricket and maybe further. I reckon he's a very good player.
Yep.
So there's a lot of talent. Murray, Brendan Murray, he's another one.
So the talent's there, mate. We've just got to start making sure those performances are actually pushing the A-grade guys to actually go up, because I think that's why we were so successful last year. We had some great individual performances in the second grade, which were really pushing the A-grade boys. Yeah,
that's right. There's plenty of talent. They come together.
I think
like Jason Parry and Noddy leading them.
Oh, exactly.
Then put some pressure on the A-grade, and the A-grade will start. Well, the A-grade is performing, but we'll keep going.
Need to get that brother of mine back, mate. Get another old head in that team, I reckon, because that would help out.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I think he's loving life at the moment, isn't he?
Just a little bit, mate. We could always try, mate. Mate, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And as I said, it's been great to hear from you. And as I said, look after that hammy, because hopefully it's only a couple of weeks, mate. We can have you back out there batting, mate, because you're a massive part of this club. You're a massive part of that team. And the team's a little bit worse off for not having you in it, mate. So thanks for joining us tonight, mate.
Thanks, Dave. That's very nice.
Cheers, Charlesy. Thanks, mate.
See you.
See you, buddy.
Right. Yeah, look, what a great fella he is, Vernon. You can never, you should have read these emails, mate. Someone that was Benny Cobley who played with him, who's 15 or so years older than him.
Yeah.
He just had such good things to say about him, and that's just the sort of respect he's had pretty much from day one. at the club, and so good to see him running. It's very disappointing to see him sort of get the injury in the weekend, because he has had the calf as well. So a couple of the old man's injuries keep him there. Hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later, though.
Mate, he's one of those guys, I reckon he could quite easily play A grade till he's 40. Without, and I mean that in all sincerity, and not because he is a mate of ours, but
like you said, though, isn't like standing at first slip and batting at six.
That's what he said.
It's a cruiser gig, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's a bit different than running around all day and that. So yeah, look, like I say, we both hope, obviously, just for one for the club, so two for him too. So
and seeing those guys do it, I mean, you look at back to the old days, Fig Glue and guys like that from Subi Floriat. He made 2300s in A grade cricket, and he played until his eyes were buggered, and then basically couldn't see the ball anymore. So he, had to pull the pin. Well, I don't see any eye problems with Charlesy and that Sri Lankan heritage. He should be all right. So
he's got one like a dead fish, hasn't he? That's always been one of his big strengths, hasn't it? So yeah, look, and like I say, he's not under too much stress at home, and like I say, so I honestly think I'm with you. You'd like to see him play for another 4 or 5 years. Hopefully, bring on a Brendan Murray or a Matt Spores or one of these guys and really take them under their wing, and hopefully, they could gain as much experience from them as what Charles did early on from the other senior players. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because I think he grew up in an era, and you were privy to it, Purse, because you were around then. He came in an era when we were so strong. I know we didn't have that on-field, success that we probably have had in the last couple of years.
Yep.
But those sides we had back in the the turn of the century, as I may call it.
Yep.
The 99, 2000, 2001.
Pre-my crickets.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-my cricket. That's where your stats are, mate. We'll remember that.
It's
all right. All right. Your stats are all there, mate. It's okay. But we just need Keith Parry to go back through them and Dad to get back through them, Mike Minear, and go through them and check where they are. But, mate, honestly, he has been an absolute revelation in our club. And I think, in a different time, he would definitely be a guy that Justin Langer, I know him and Justin get along really well, he'd be a great guy to be playing state cricket a few years ago now.
Yeah, look, when he was young, cricket was probably his second love, and maybe good times were his first love.
Yep.
And that was renowned for him.
Yep.
Yeah, he probably didn't have the best, and he'll tell you exactly the same.
Oh, he's honest about it.
Yeah, that's right. He probably didn't have the sometimes the best preparation for his games, but it's hard for someone like him that's just such a classy player. He was up and down a little bit as well.
Exactly.
When he was young. And so he played a bit of A grade and struggled because they did throw him into open.
We opened in A grade, then he bat 4 in seconds, and it was
that's
just
right.
like, well, what are you going to do? Like, I think, in all honesty, and we've talked about it many a time, I think that's probably one place where we probably didn't help him. He should never have been chucked into open. With a backlift like he's got, as we all know, you don't stick him in an open. Let him go in there, bat in the middle order, and we're seeing the fruits of the labour now in his later career.
Right. Yeah, like I say, it took him a while to find out where to bat him, but he knew that early on. He just sort of was pretty happy to be playing and running around. So
yeah, exactly.
Probably his bowling never really come on as much as he'd hoped, but apart from that, he's an outstanding player.
And a great bloke, great bloke,
real champion of the club.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, that was our Northside residential interview. Now, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to go to a quick word from our all-important station sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to go through the rest of the fixtures of this weekend with the Claremont Nedlands games. Also, we're going to go through the 2020s and the Colts. So we'll be back in just a few moments.
G'day, Simon Kadich here for the Ringing Shed. To get to the top level of anything, you need reliability and consistency. The Ringing Shed has been one of WA's top order performers for more than a decade, specialising in providing lifting gear to the state's crane and lifting industry. If you need quality gear, repair, testing and maintenance, they can do it. And if you need best practice, the Ringing Shed has it. Reliability and consistency. That's the Rigging Shed since 2001.
The Rigging Shed, 53 Prosperity Avenue, Wangara, station sponsor.
UltimateSportsMemorabilia.com.au have the greatest range of official licensed memorabilia for you to capture every great moment. With all your summer sports images now available, including a huge collection of cricket pieces, don't hesitate and buy now. UltimateSportsMemorabilia.com.au. Visit us online today and start thinking about the perfect Christmas present. UltimateSportsMemorabilia.com.au, where all sports' greatest days and memories live forever. Station sponsor.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Urtec Holdings, Getting It Right and On Time. Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood, contact Andrew Amos today. Sunwise Outdoor Living, for all your patio, gazebo and alfresco needs, contact Rob Fairchild. MTM Physiotherapy, specialising in sports injuries, located in Duncraig. And Stella Premium Services, gardens, parks and lawns. Contact Cliff Astall today. Station sponsor.
And it was great to hear from Cliff Estall there. That was fantastic. But welcome back here to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Now, Purce, we're back after that fantastic interview with Charlesy and hearing from Cliffy Estall. And we've got to get back to...
Charlesy, serious as always.
Yeah, serious he always is. Never. Mate, take us through the results for Claremont that all our listeners are waiting for.
Mate, as we sort of touched base there with Charlesy a little bit, the boys ended up with 266 down there at the very picturesque Creswell. Robbie Richards there with 41, so on the way back to some form, which is very good to see with Robbie. Mitch McGee, 120 short of what he got last week with 13, and Bucky Rogers there with his 17, Jakey Fawcett with his 36, Christian Smith with his 12, Kyle Miller with 11, Donovan Fryer 47, so pick of the batters so far. Lee Miller with his 9, Jack Cottrell didn't trouble the scorers, and Hayden Morton managed to snare him. Gary Atkinson with his 17 and Charlesy with his 59 not out after coming back in. So look, 266, fairly good score. As we know when we played in there, the deck had a little bit in it, so hopefully, like I say, our bowling lineup should be okay because they were none for 26 after their 8 overs there with the boys. Apparently not bowling the greatest, according to Charles and also to Wayne when I spoke to him earlier today. Yeah, well, they're a pretty strong side, Claremont. As I said, that's why I wanted to ask Charles what his thoughts on where they belie their position at 10th, because they're a much better side than that. And you just have to have a quick look at them and look at some of the players they've got there. But I mean, old Robbo opening the bowling, he's been doing it for about 12 years, and it's been absolutely unbelievable to watch. And he gets another fourfer. So the thing is, they have got a pretty strong side. But one thing Charlesy did say was a lot of guys got starts, and once again. Robbie Richards, 41. Good to see him getting back into some form, though, so I've got no qualms there. But Mitchy McGee, Bucky, Jakey 36, apparently batting really well. We've got to really start turning them into big scores. Yeah, definitely, Vern. And they probably had, they have previous weeks. I think they just let themselves down there, so they probably didn't belie the talent that they have out there with their 266. So. That's gold. Yeah. But look, but seriously, you're dead set right there, Vern. They're probably going to make sure that's why you play A-grade cricket, is because you can turn those starts into 50s or 100s, and unfortunately... Oh, is that the reason, is it? I wouldn't have known. I've heard, Fern. That's what Charles was telling me anyway. No worries. But look, like I say, hopefully next week, obviously we've got a very good bowling lineup. Their bowling lineup's quite good, but it's good to see young Hayden Morton playing there. There with his 1 for 62 as well. Like I say, Mort's sort of left the club hoping to further his career and get some more opportunities, and he has done down there. And we always wish Hayden all the best, don't we? Definitely, mate. And as I said, if a player's going to get an opportunity at another club, well, all the best, and let's hope it works out for them personally. Like I say, probably been a tough few months for the Morton family themselves, isn't it? So. Oh, exactly. Enough of that. What we do want to talk about now, though, is what's going to happen in next week, Perce. We're obviously bowling, so you went on, they're none for 26. Our bowling lineup, what do you reckon? Yeah, look, I reckon we're a big chance still. Yep. Yeah, look, I think new time, get them back. Sometimes when you come on at the end of the day, you can over-try and maybe a bowl like what Charles suggested, a little bit full or... A little bit wide. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Trying to. So hopefully they'll just get back into their nice rhythms and go, right, Jackie Cottrell obviously in a fair bit of form, coming off his 6-for. So, yeah, look, like I say, they're definitely a very good bowling lineup. And as Charles said, use wisely or use correctly. Then now, is it true that Corchis didn't his name but didn't play? Is that correct? Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, because I know. Well, I was just looking at that. Where's the skip? And but Bucky was skipper, as you solely pointed out on Saturday. I did. Yeah, and I was putting downlights in at your house. Yeah, exactly. Buxton skipper. Good to see. And he good captain too. Was the captain of Valley's Cricket Club in Brisbane a couple of seasons ago in A grade. So has done it plenty. He was a second 11 captain for Tasmania for a good couple of years. So the man's got a little bit of pedigree. Also named in the future squad was Bucky as well, wasn't he? So, brilliant news. Yeah, that's even better news. Playing against the Tassie boys. Yeah, and he's been batting well lately. So as I said, hopefully, a little blip there, but doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. And as I said, hopefully that next week we can go out there and bowl them out. I'll be down there. I'm looking forward to having a couple of beers with Simon Mason at the down at Cressy, and hopefully watching us bowl the boys out pretty cheaply. Sounds good. Hopefully they all bat as well as you did down there, Vern. Yeah, let's hope they do a little bit better than that on my Creswell debut. Claremont bat as well as you did. Oh, yeah, as well as I batted. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
All right, Purse, now take me on to the second grade, please, sir.
Yeah, look, they had Wayne actually went down with the seconds and ran them through their warm-up and hopefully trying to get a little bit more out of the boys, which is good to see. And obviously it worked quite well in the bowling because we managed to restrict them to 155 in 60 overs there. So, look, a great effort from the lads with the pick of the bowlers, the old 759-game veteran Jason Parry there with his 4 for 39, and the old blonde bombshell there, Johnny Walter, with his 4 for 40, so great effort. And Scotty Pearson just managed to pick up the other wicket. But very interesting to note, as Charlesy pointed out, coming back from injury was Jared McPhee getting through his 10 overs, number 23. So
brilliant news.
Look, great effort, really, isn't it? You know, like I say, big strapping lad, but, you know, bit like a Greek Adonis, and comes from really good stock, and he's a real good fella. So, but unfortunately, in reply, Vern, we're boys back to their batting woes at 4 for 47 with Budge there with his 24. Parry didn't trouble the scorers. Noddy there it was out for 15, and Graham Atkinson didn't trouble the scorers either. But Brendan Murray's still in there, which is good sign.
And Dan Peters, I think,
very good player, and Alfie will be in next there. Yep. So, yeah, look, like I say, not a bad day, 4 for 47, so game definitely in the balance.
Very disappointing, though, just having a look at the runs on the, first week. If you can get out of the day 1 or 2 down for 50, all of a sudden there's a little bit more. Obviously, I'm not saying it can't be done, because it can be done. There's some great batsmen to go, but these are the little things, I think, in that second grade side. We need to have a little bit more of that maturity and just grinding it out.
They were 1 for 41, and so 1 for 2 for 41, 3 for 43, 4 for 47. So bang, 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 like this, like saying,
exactly.
Just managed to concentrate the whole day, get out of that. Having a player that would get in there and tough it out and work his way through that last little period, which can be tough.
Yep.
So, yeah, look, like I say, but hopefully the boys will be a bit more resolute next week, and hopefully when we're sitting here at the same spot, same bat time next week, Vern, we're talking about a well-deserved victory to lift the boys off the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, let's hope the Scooby-Doos can get up there, because they need a good win, and their great captain there, Noddy Henry, obviously would be getting a bit frustrated and pulling his hair out at the moment. So, honestly, get out there, boys, and good luck on the weekend, because it'd be really good to get the twos back up there. And we've always got to think, Purse, just quickly before we leave the twos, club championship. It's a big thing, so correct. We need to make sure that the twos are doing well.
Second biggest points.
Exactly, we need them doing well.
0.75 or whatever it is. Yeah, look, like I say, we do. We really love that. And Wayne has talked about this a lot, and hopefully they'll start to come good.
No worries, mate. Now, if you take me through the threes now, sir.
Yeah, look, we've managed to skittle Claremont there for 136, and probably with the pick of our bowlers there was, as we were just previously talking about, was young Smithy. Do we call him young Smithy or do we call him old Smithy? What do we call him?
Old Smithy. Smithy Senior. Smithy Senior.
All right, we're trying with Smithy Senior.
Yeah, Smithy Senior.
That's right. He there with his 4 for 44. Young Smithy, young Smudger.
Yeah.
Adam Smith there with his 2 for 18 as well. And Elijah Greystock, really good to see the young under-17 player there that's got some serious wheels for a kid with his 2 for 22. So that's a great effort from him. And Bondi with his 1 for 20. But unfortunately there, Vern, 5 for 63 in reply for that game down there at Mel Vista, with Moses there out for 20. Alex Burton there with his 7, Sladecki with his 13, Connor Lynch with 10, Ryan May with 9, and Cam Mack and Bailey Nylander both not out there. So, look, game's definitely in the balance there again. It's usually does a little bit down there at Mel Vista, so hopefully the boys can hold on there and get the other 80 required there for a victory.
Mate, the interesting one there is Cam Mack. He's acting like Osama bin Laden in his cave there. He's stayed in pretty late there. He's come in a fair way down the list instead of number 3. But obviously he's probably trying to give some guys who have dropped down from that second grade side a bit of a fair go, which is good by the skip to give them an opportunity. But having a look at that, mate, some good news out of that. And I can't go past Smithy Senior, but Adam Smith, Smudger, I mean, it's good to see him back getting a couple of wickets, because Smudge got all the way up to the ones, and he was there or thereabouts, and probably lost a little bit of confidence. And he's a great guy, a lovely bloke, and a good cricketer, and probably my prodigal son. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, I probably did.
I think you did. Yeah, look, Vern, I've obviously followed him just behind you, because you do talk about him all the time. But look, I think he might have lost his way a little bit with his probably with his shape.
Yep.
Probably started to, because he used to bowl genuine, beautiful outies, and we know that he makes blokes nick him. But, might have just lost a little bit away with his shape. So good to see him back in a bit of form. One thing we did forget to touch on was also Brady Morton, playing second grade. Another ex-Wanneroo junior that unfortunately, went down there this year. Or not unfortunately, but went down there this year. And, it's just good to see.
It's good to see people performing, isn't it? So
that's right.
Good luck to him.
So yeah, look, so like I say, game in the balance again there. So a lot of hard work for the threes to do to get the chockies there.
Exactly, mate. All right, Perce. Now we always love talking about the fourth grade Carney's troops, and I heard the troops have had an interesting weekend at the with all sorts of stuff. But
see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. One thing here, Perce, I really want to talk about Fingers Ma. We've got to talk about him. But first of all, can you take us through the scores, mate?
Yeah, look, the boys, second week in a row, the boys in the fours have put in a good batting performance, which is great to see because it's probably their downfall last year from stopping them going further into the final series. So they ended up 6 for 314 at the end of their allotted overs. Old Lloydie Quinlan there with his 30. This bloke here. Now, what more can we say about this fella, eh? Old Marbo.
Supreme Court Gardens. That's the only three words I've got.
Surprisingly, one of the smartest fellas going around, apparently. But ended up with his maiden club century there with 108. So it looked great to see.
Well done, Marbo.
He ducked over and went and played at university for some unknown reason for years, and it's welcome back. And a great effort from him, and good to see sort of the results of of obviously putting in some hard work during the day. Matty Fawcett with 35. Little Jimmy DiCarlo with his 4, only got 4 unfortunately. Braden Myers was 25. Jordan King getting a few runs there again with his, getting a few runs there with his 23. And Hawley with his 40 and Quinney with 44 not out. So look, a great effort, but seriously, Marlo, great work, mate. Outstanding effort.
And must remember too, he made 100 against our second grade when we were fairly strong. I think we were second on the ladder back a few years ago and got a ton against us, Marbo did in second grade for uni.
Yep.
And I think he might have played probably maybe 7 or 8 games of A grade for uni that year, or maybe it might be a few less, but he played a few he played a fair few A grade games there. So as I said, great to have him down in those grades, but he's a good cricketer. And I mean, he doesn't even barely bowl anymore. I always thought of him as more of a bowling all-rounder, but he's just making runs like they're going out of fashion.
Definitely, like say, he definitely when he was younger was a colourful personality, wasn't he? So always a little bit worried about his mental state, but he's come on and look, it's great to see. Hopefully, like say, he's helping Carney out down there in the forward.
Exactly.
And he was even doing a bit of keeping last year too, wasn't he? Just to help out. So,
he loves that.
Doesn't he?
Yeah. Well done, Fingers. Great effort, mate. And hopefully that's going to make a great couple of weeks coming up too, mate, just before Christmas, and get a few more good results with that bat. All right, Perce, now into our next results, mate, into those great young under-17s.
Oh. And
tell me how they went, mate.
Mate, I'll tell you what, I've got a new favourite player, Vernon, but we'll get to that in a minute. Look, an outstanding effort down there at Mel Vista. Generally, the tracker does a little bit from the boys. They ended up with 7 for 271 off their allotted overs, and it's a great effort, especially at sort of 4 for 57, 5 for 65. The boys looking in a lot of trouble there, but then all of a sudden, had a young Josh Cameron continued on his way. Him and Braden Hudson put on quite a few, and young Joshy Cameron ended up there at 120 not out. So look, his first 100 for the club. It's a really great effort. Running through the other batters, mate. Vaughan Quinlan with his 28. Lockie McLean unfortunately didn't trouble the scorers. Nor did Damon Parker. Favourite of the show, Corey Rockacholi with a 9. Kurt Monahan with 4. So as you can see, mate, they were struggling there. But Braden Hudson,
great performance.
69 to come off his 96 from a couple of weeks ago. Had a cheeky little trip over to Thailand in between that.
Yep.
And Lukey Hickenborn with 1, but Dylan Banks with 27 not out. So, but Joshy Cameron, outstanding effort from a young player. He's a senior 17. Got 90 the week before.
89 the week before. And that's just brilliant. I mean, he's
120. And got himself a game of Colts just through some outstanding performances. So
get him in the twos.
Well done, mate.
Get him in the twos.
Get him in there.
Get him in the twos. Joshy Cameron, well done, mate.
Great effort from him.
Yeah, and I think there'll be some higher honours coming to his way with those sort of performances, because obviously there are some good players down in that 17s comp, and well done, Joshy Cameron, mate. We were all very happy, and Perce and I were privy to seeing that on Facebook on Saturday. We were pretty excited.
That's right. You're my new favourite player, Josh. You know that.
Yeah. Well done, Joshy Cameron. All right, Perce, going on to the 15s, mate.
Yeah, look, Thorny's illustriously coached 15s there. Look, they had a great effort managing to restrict Clement Netherlands. Must have been a pretty exciting day down there at Kingsway number 2. They've batted their allotted overs and ended up at 9 for 131. So, yeah, look, some exciting times, but some good bowling from the boys. Lukey Cheshire bowled his 12 overs, 2 for 18. Our good man Bailey Richards with his 2 for 26.
Well done, Bazza.
And young Dion Billington that actually come up from the under-14s. Thought he disciplined a couple of his lads and was going to be a player short, so he brought up a couple of the young lads. And so good to see him with his 2 for 16 there. But quick little mention also, Jordan Slattery bowled his 10 overs, none for 12. So look, a great effort from him. But puts the boys in a very good spot for next week.
A very famous name at our club. His father, my favourite cricketer just about of all time. So it's very good to see Geordie come up there and dominate in 10 overs, just over 1 and over, which is pretty good, mate, coming into a 15s game. But well done to those boys. And as I said, hopefully no one falls asleep next week. 9 for 131 off 60 overs, 2 and over. That'd be really exciting.
Exciting times. So.
All right, IJ. Yeah. Now, we need to go and have a quick chat about the 2020, mate. I want to have a quick look at that. Or have you got the other results there? Is there a 13s result there? Because I don't.
No. The 13s and 14s are playing this week against the dark side, mate. So,
perfect.
Yeah, on no Undy Sunday. So.
No worries, mate. Well, take us through the 2020. Now, obviously, we had a great shindig at the cricket club, taking them all through, all the players coming to our club for a change. So we had Scarborough, Subiaco Floreat and Joondalup all at ours. Now, we'd obviously already played Subi Floreat, so we had first up those from the dark side. And can you take us through it, mate?
Yeah, look, the dirty Joondalup managed to get onto our ground. Look, probably not the greatest innings. Obviously, Vern, you were down there with your dulcet tones spread across the whole ground, so the rumours go. But we only ended up at our allotted overs, 9 for 119 there. So, look, probably should have struggled. But Cole Miller, as Charles touched on, in career best form there with his 37 was definitely sort of pick of the batters, with the older brother Leroy chipping in with 14 at the end. So, but look, young Matt Spores played and Brendan Murray there also played. So good to see a couple of the younger blokes getting a bit of a go there. But unfortunately, Joondalup just too strong for the boys there, and they ended up 4 for 120 after their 15 overs. Swarter there with his 18, young Jaron Morgan there with his 22. Is that Jimmy Anderson batting at 3, Vern?
Mate, it is James Anderson batting at 3. Wow. Josh Anderson, sorry. Josh. Yeah, Josh.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a real bogan too. He actually looks like he'd fit in quite well at us, but he just unfortunately he's been led to the dark side, as they say.
Yes, anyway, 39 not out there, so looking great ever from him. And Tomlinson and Todd there as well, chipping in with 16 apiece. So, yeah, not the best start to the day, but the pick of our bowlers was probably Lee Miller there with his 4 overs, 1 for 23, and the old dog, the 729 game veteran, Jason Parry. So, look, bit of a disappointing first effort there, Vern, wasn't it?
Definitely, mate, definitely. Now, in the next game...
In the afternoon?
We came up against a few ex-premiership players for the mighty Wanneroo District Cricket Club, and do you want to take us through it, mate?
Yeah, Dirty Scarborough as well. We played there. They ended up 8 for 128 after their allotted overs. Mate, how's these for names? Wes Robinson, Anthony Dalbarello, and is that Andy Cameron as well? So a couple of ex-Wanneroo players filling them in, and with 34, 30 and 2 respectively, and then old Kotzaya, as we like to know him as here.
I always thought it was Kutsi, but Kotzaya, okay.
Not huge fans of the fella.
Yep.
With his 15 and young Wood there with his 13. So look, pick of the bowlers there. Cole Miller 4 overs, 3 for 24, and Robbie Richards there with his 4 overs, 3 for 20, and Josh Quelch, the younger and better looking Quelch with his 2 for 15. So look, a great effort from the lads there, and then we managed to lick the runs off in the last over there, Vern. At 6 for 129. So, look, Mitchie McGee with his 22, Cole Miller with his 37, but Brendan Murray, great effort there, 43, Don and Fryer with 5, but then the old experienced heads of Matt Spores and Connell Lynch with a combined age of 32, and no one of them is not 11. So managed to get the boys over the line, which is an outstanding effort because they were facing up against Ty, a Matador Cup player there. So, look, a great effort from the lads.
First class player now, mate. He's playing in the first class game against Tassie. So
correct.
That's a great experience. And the one before they played against Madassa Bakari, who played for the Netherlands in the 2020 World Cup. So for Joondalup. So great experience for Matty Spores and Connell Lynch because, as I said, you don't get those opportunities very often.
Correct. And like I say, good to see Wayne giving them a go and good to see the boys performing. So, yeah, look, great effort to finish off. So that was unfortunately 1 from 3 in the 2020. So that's it. We're all done.
Oh, beautiful, mate. Now, our last results for this evening, guys, before we head off for the end of our show, is the Colts. Now, obviously, they were playing yesterday at IJ, if I'm correct.
Correct. They managed to get down to Creswell as well yesterday, and look, we
picturesque ground.
Picturesque, wasn't it? Yeah, it's good. Probably some of the players weren't picturesque a few weeks ago, but we'll leave that one right alone. Except for Brendan Danaher, who looks fit as a fiddle. Look, the boys, we batted first. We ended up with 209, so good effort. Bailey Nylander there with 53. And Christian Smith with 50 were definitely the pick of the batters, with Cam Mack down there getting his 26. Special mention, though, to Josh Cameron after his 89, his 120. also getting a game there, so look, a great effort from them. And both the Mortons played. Brady got 3 for 30, so fair play to him. But then in reply, they were sort of going along all right at 4 for 100, and then ended up all out for 121. So look, a great effort from the boys. Pick of the bowlers there. Moses 2 for 23. Your man, Adam Smudger-Smith, with his 3 for 29, and Josh Quelch, the better, younger-looking Quelch there, with his 4 for 26. So, look, a great effort from the Sean King-coached Colts there, Vern. So that's 2 on the bounce for the Colts, isn't it?
And my boy Smudge, mate, 3 for 29 off 10. What a jet.
Hey, 5, just a cheeky little 5 for the weekend then for him.
Oh, no, he did well, mate. And well done to Joshy Quelch too there, mate. Excellent performance, 4 for in Colts, and obviously a lot of good cricketers in that side. Nick Hobson there, the number 3 for their number 3 or 4 for their A-grade side in that team. So he made runs against us last year in the GF. So some pretty good players.
Yeah, good to see Joshy Quelch sorting him out.
Good stuff. Now, Perce, would you like to take us through the ladders so we can give the ladders to everyone?
Love to, David.
Before we finish up tonight, we've got plenty of time, so there's no rush. Just for our listeners out there, we do have JT the Brick coming in on after us, so stay tuned.
Australia.
I love Australia.
That fires me up.
So if you're waiting for JT the Brick, we haven't got long to go, guys. Now go ahead, Perce, with those ladders.
The A-grade are currently sitting third, which is with 4 wins and 1 loss there. So that's a great effort on their behalf, with the dirty old dark side still yet to be beaten. And Perth, which is quite the surprise packet there, Vern, for them to be sitting second. No one would have really predicted them. And I actually heard their coach on talking to Minnow the other day, and actually was a very, very well-spoken young fella.
Excellent.
And he's a to and from, though, so we won't hold that against him. But and the seconds, unfortunately, Vern, languishing in 16th position there, with 1 win and 4 losses. But there's quite a few of them there. So look, a couple of wins could escalate them back up to middle ladder again. So realistically, if they do play well and win this week, they're always a big chance of still playing finals cricket. Cam Max thirds sitting on top of the ladder. So, look, a great effort from them, boys, having an outstanding season with their 4 wins and 1 loss. And
they've 1 draw, mate. They haven't lost a game.
Oh, sorry there. Yeah, good vision, Ian.
That's right, mate. You're getting a bit older these days, mate. You are 40, so
none of us getting younger, David.
Exactly, good point.
I probably haven't got the ears for glasses anyway, so... Yeah. In fourth grade, the Carney's boys are currently sitting 4th there on 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Well so look, it's a great effort. The Coldies, they're actually currently sitting 2nd for 2 games for 2 wins. So that's a really good effort. 17s are 4th at the moment, so which is quite a good
excellent
solid effort from the boys. The 15s are currently 9th. And the 14s and 13s are both sitting 5th and 6th respectively. So, look, like I say, going not bad. Hopefully the seconds can lift that, which will help us escalate us back up the club championship ladder, because unfortunately the dark side are on top at the club championship.
Exactly, mate. Well, guys, make sure we all get down there this weekend. If you can't get down to Creswell to watch the A-grade, make sure we're getting up to the club. Back up the Kingsway, go and have a light refreshment at the club rooms, and get up there and support the seconds. They've got a bit of a run chase on there, so if you're heading up to Kingsway, get down there and have a look. And if you're going down to see the A's down at Creswell, make sure you get down there and support them, and hopefully we can get a few wickets and get them on the back foot. All right, guys, well, that's all we've got time for tonight. Now, 6th instalment of Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. It wouldn't be a normal show if we didn't thank our all-important sponsors. Without them, we couldn't run the club. So, we could, but we just wouldn't have any money. So it's really appreciated, these guys who, in no particular order, really help us at the club. So, as I said, guys, thanks so much for your support, and make sure, guys, if we're looking for services, we actually get behind the people that do support our club. All right, first we've got Urtec, Northside Residential, Harden East and Conti, Stella Premium Services. Now that's Cliff Astall, isn't it? Yep. There we go. Yeah. And poor Cliff. I love that. Listen to it. It's so funny. Sunwise Outdoor Living, MTM Physiotherapy, Jets Wanneroo, Subway Madley, Resource Instrumentation and Electrical, ADL Electrical, Liquor Barons Greenwood, Phoenix Insurance Brokers, Total Industrial and Safety, and last but not least, Joel Carney at JC Plastering. Okay, Perce, thank you very much, IJ, for joining us tonight, mate.
David Vernon, always a pleasure.
Excellent, mate. And guys, we all look forward to seeing you all back here at the same time at 7 o'clock next Monday night for another instalment of Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show. Straight up next after us, stay tuned. We've got JT the Brick. Enjoy, guys. See you next week. Good night.